Okay, folks, thank you for attending the Olivet City Council for January 27th, 2026. We're having some technical issues right now, so the camera will not be facing the council at this time until they can get it fixed. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Um, right now, if we could please have the roll call. Here.
Mine works, Jennifer.
Why don't we just talk loud?
The online, they won't be able to hear us.
Oh. It's a conspiracy.
It's the winter storm.
All right. Does that work? Yes. All right. Mayor Clark,
Here.
Chairman Pro Tem Watt,
Here.
Councilmember Solomonov,
Here.
Councilmember Pashan Hellman,
Here.
Councilmember Lewis.
Present.
Right now, if there are any communications to share, would you please?
So I do have a written communication that we received from David Moons on Monday at 9:02 p.m. I would like the following message read in my absence tomorrow at council regarding the Creve Coeur Parks Partnership. My name is David Moons, and I am a resident of 15 Ramsgate in Olivet and strongly support the reciprocal partnership agreement proposal between the Parks Departments of Creve Coeur and Olivet. Creve Coeur hockey and golf facilities are frequented by Olivet residents, and a discount extended to Olivet residents benefits our community. Additionally, bringing thousands of Creve Coeur residents into Five Oaks will further showcase Olivet as a community with great amenities and wonderful staff. This is a mutually beneficial agreement, and I fully support it.
Do we have any other communications? Okay, I'd like to make an introduction. Mr. James Hill is our new maintenance professional. He's bringing over 8 years of hands-on experience to the role. As a natural problem solver, he takes pride in keeping facilities running smoothly and finding efficient solutions to challenges that may arise. When not on site, he is a dedicated husband and a father of 2 children, Ramsey, 7, James, 5. He is a basketball and football enthusiast and will bring that same enthusiasm as a player, as a team player, and that same kind of energy to everything that he does for the city of Olivet. I'd like to welcome you to the team. And you and I get along pretty good because I'm a football enthusiast. I don't know if you know, but I played for the Rams for 3 years. Yeah, the new high school Rams, yeah. It still counts to me.
It's a good thing they weren't videoing.
But thank you very much, James, and welcome, sir. All right. Now we'll go ahead and have our city manager's report, please.
All right, I appreciate everybody's patience with our technical difficulties here.
Hey, look at you.
I think we have in fact gotten the rear camera up and running, so. All right, good evening. So we have a couple of things for this week. It snowed over the weekend if you haven't been outside. And first of all, congratulations and thank you to our Public Works Department and our Parks Department who cleared sidewalks and parking lots and streets and cul-de-sacs all weekend in the very cold, frigid temperatures. So I think they all deserve a round of applause and a pat on the back for the work that they did. And I will say I was at a non-city event this afternoon down at WashU, and I had at least 2 people come up and say to me about how appreciative they were about the streets being plowed in Olivet. So I just want to publicly recognize our Parks crew and our Public Works crews for their work today. And so Republic Services, the trash schedule is going to be delayed one day this week as they are, of course, wanting to get out and be safe and pick up trash recycling this week. So Republic Services is asking that all residents place their material out on their regularly scheduled service day and then leave it out there until it gets picked up. And they expect to have everything picked up by Saturday, January 31st. So again, pickup is delayed by one day, but they are asking everybody to put them out on your regularly scheduled collection day. Additional upcoming events, the Citizens Police Academy, which is a cooperative class for citizens with a variety of police departments in the area. They are taking registration. So the first class begins February 18th, will continue on Wednesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. So if you are at all interested in learning more about law enforcement and the things that they do and their equipment and the legalities of being a police officer, this would be a great opportunity for regular citizens to do that. Again, it is a cooperative effort, so if you are interested, you can certainly sign up either with the QR code that's shown on the screen or with the link. You will go to the City of Creve Coeur page, and that is okay. You have landed on the right spot as they are part of the cooperative and they are handling registration. And then February 7th, Saturday, February 7th, we are hosting a craft and vendor fair at Five Oaks from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And so we would encourage anybody that wants to come and check out various crafters and vendors to come out to Five Oaks to do that. The tables are sold out and the wait list is sold out. So I think we will have a number of people there. If you're interested to see what kinds of crafts and vendors are available, please follow the QR code. There's a list of a variety of things that will be there on that Saturday. If you have a talent or you think you have a talent, we would ask and encourage you to come out on Thursday, February 26th, out to Five Oaks. They're doing, I think this is the third open mic night. And so there's a piano, there's a microphone. We've had a number of folks come and play the piano and share their talents with anybody who is interested. So 7:15, it's free. Come on out and join us. And so I would encourage everybody to sign up for Olivet Weekly, which is the electronic newsletter that goes out on Mondays and shares all kinds of information about things that are going on in the city. And then lastly, here are some upcoming meetings, both for City Council and other city commissions. And then lastly, there are a couple of things to talk about. One is the rescheduled council retreat. And so there are 3 dates available, the February 28th, March 7th, and March 8th. And then we have the Chamber Firefighter and Police Officer of the Year, which is March 13th. And then the Slapka Prayer Breakfast, which is April 28th. So if there are council members who wish to attend those last 2 items, please let me know. The rescheduled council retreat, we can either talk about that now or we can talk about that towards the end of the meeting, because I know we have a number of folks here who are here for the public hearing. So would you like to talk about it? Okay, we'll recircle back and talk about it at the end of the meeting. Okay. And with that, I can answer any questions you might have on the city manager's report.
No questions from the council? Okay, we'll go forward. So we'll go ahead with our staff reports.
Okay, starting off with the fire department. So they did some Mayday training. As you can see, they have some photos of firefighters training in situations where they might have to do some self-rescue, or they may be disoriented or trapped. And so they do this Mayday training so that they have the skills to know what to do in order to get out safely. Parks and Rec, have been doing a variety of things. So one of the new things they did was a holiday light recycling. They have collected 4 trash barrels of lights, and based on feedback, they're going to start collecting after Thanksgiving next year, as they learned that a number of folks throw out their lights when they pull them out to hang them back up and find out that they don't work. So having the bins available earlier this year or this coming year will be, hopefully we'll collect more than 4 barrels. And then if you are out on the Greenway, the parks crew built a flagstone path from the Greenway to the restrooms in Indian Meadow Park. There wasn't an easy surface or way to get from the Greenway to the bathrooms other than walking through the grass. So they've installed that. And then the council may remember that you bought brand new soccer goals this year. And so the parks crew built a storage rack for those goals so that they can be neatly put away and all the pieces, stay together. And so that rack is located at the parks operations yard. So they've been busy this month. In the planning department, you can see Irvington Place is almost finished. The photos show from June of 2024 to this month of January of 2026. And so they are expecting those final inspections towards the end of February and into March, and potentially some occupancies in March. So we're excited to have those apartments come online. The police department every year does a Cops for Pets event. So those photos up at the top show the 8 boxes worth of pet supplies that were donated, as well as the pet food that was donated to the St. Louis County Animal Shelter up on Bauer. And then this last weekend before, they did a pet adoption event with the St. Louis County shelter. They did it at Five Oaks, and they had at least 4 dogs that were adopted out of that event. So it was very successful, a good community event, and they're looking to partner again in the spring and potentially also partner with the fire department to come up and do some kind of public safety event with them. And then also with the police department, with the cold weather, we are seeing vehicle break-ins occur. So in the month of December, there were 7 burglaries reported to the police department, and all 7 involved someone breaking into the vehicle. And so we just would like to remind everybody not to leave valuable items in your vehicles, to please take those inside so that it's not attractive for burglars. And then Public Works, prior to the snow, they were pouring concrete on the east side of Hilltop, working south from Chisholm Court. So that's part of the Community Development Block Grant project, putting that sidewalk in. And then luckily, January 20th, before the snow came, we received 100 tons of road salt. So the salt bin was full for them to use for this particular snow event. And so with that, I can certainly answer any additional questions you might have.
Any questions from the council?
No.
Go ahead, sir.
Question on the soccer goals.
Mhm.
Will we ever in the future cover them too for the winter? Is that something that's ever been discussed? Got it. Might be worth considering.
Any other questions from the council? Okay, we'll go on. Next, we'll have our Director of Finance, Mr. Darren Mann, who will give our monthly financial report and our quarterly investment report. Mr. Mann,
Good
you have the
evening,
floor.
Mayor and Council. We have our middle of our year review for our financial statements, just our financial reporting. Not much to report here. We see some sales taxes accelerate nicely. Property taxes, though, are slower than we thought. You probably read newspaper articles about the collections being a little behind because there's a new system like we've been talking about at the county. The online payment system was swamped. People were worried about getting paid, so they went ahead and mailed in checks, and so that takes a little longer to process. We will expect that to catch back up here in the next couple months. Utility taxes mixed, but right at our expectations. Our general fund, those revenues are down. We're below where we'd expect by 182,000, but 480,000 of that is from the property tax bonus. Picked up a little there by our sales taxes, which is about 240,000 above that category is now. We didn't quite see it. We talked about the use tax, but now the sales tax has been accelerating since November, and now reporting good. Let's go to our then on the expenditures. We're hit right on the nose, about $10,000 above where we thought. So all good there. Let's go to our chart there on the next page. Despite what I just said, the sales taxes there you can see over time. They're, it's just we're on the orange line there. You get a little bit of a preview into January. We're on the low end. We're beating our expectations, but you can see here that it's been a tempered expectations for the last couple of years. From there, I don't have much else. We can move into, if there's no questions, we can move into the quarterly financial report.
Go ahead, sir.
Ready? What we would see now for our quarterly investment report, not much action as far as changes from what has been we talked 3 months ago. If we were to fast forward though into January with the influx of cash from property tax collections, we're going to see some of those 3-month ladders continue to get bigger and bigger, and then as we need the cash, we'll bring that money down. Let's go to the next page, and you can see the top part, those 3-month rolling treasuries or 90-day rolling treasuries. They're at 2.5 million. One there was at 2. Now they're going to be pushing 3 million as we come forward, just because of that influx of cash with property tax collections. I don't anticipate going long on any of these CDs. You can see there's another one coming due. It's that gray at the bottom. In May, we'll start seeing some of those 5% CDs start rolling back off, and I don't anticipate renewing them with anything. So that's would be conclude what I have for the quarterly quarterly investment report, unless we have any questions.
Any questions from the council?
Ready?
Mr. Mann, thank you very much,
Thank you.
sir. Okay, we're going to go on with our city council reports. Councilmember Solomonov, do you have anything to report, sir?
No report for this evening.
Okay, Councilmember Pishon Hellman, do you have anything to report?
Yes, I attended the Economic Development Commission last night, and it was while it was virtual, it was a very productive virtual meeting, which was wonderful. We discussed a tiered approach to our business outreach and really are honing in on the way a strategic plan for approaching businesses and getting some feedback from businesses. So we discussed potentially adding in a meeting in February, which we're not regularly scheduled for because we advised, or the commission rather advised staff to develop a survey that could go out to businesses to just help us get a sense of how businesses feel we're doing, what we're doing well, where we could improve as a city, and to kind of give us a baseline sense of just how businesses are feeling about the city of Olivet. And then also a discussion about more personalized outreach to some of our larger businesses that have a larger investment in the city, and a personalized outreach that would potentially include council members, if they're so willing, to meet on an individual basis with business representatives, either with a commissioner or with staff. So those discussions are still ongoing, but just potentially at a work session, we could discuss council members' interest and willingness to meet individually with businesses. And the business of the year is going to be starting up again with voting for our businesses of the year, and that will be starting in February and going through March, with the March 30th EDC meeting being when the commission will review all of the voting submissions and make a decision on the different categories for businesses of the year. And I think that is about it for EDC.
Well, thank you very much. Councilmember Lewis.
Yes, PCDC met on the 15th, and a couple of topics they bring up. One, they've continuously, week over week, been working on the kind of priorities that we as a council sent to them, and they're voting on it each week to understand kind of their impacts. And so in the near weeks, we're going to see kind of a rundown between what we sent as priorities, what they're seeing as priorities, so we can match those up and try to see how we then take action against them, or what they want to kind of send back to the council if we want to talk about legislation. So looking forward to seeing that. Further questions on stormwater, just always a topic of conversation with neighbors. How do we make sure we're looking at the larger, implication of stormwater and runoff and challenges? And then a further motion just to ease the ability for staff to approve solar panels, because we really haven't, made a lot of challenges solar panels. We want to make it easy for people to, get those permits and get them moving forward. So that was, kind of brought forward, and we're moving forward on that as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Mayor Pro Tem Weil.
Yes, thank you. I attended the Parks and Recreation meeting last week. It began with a discussion about this Creve Coeur reciprocation agreement, which I believe will be presented with later this evening. And I want to recognize that our Parks Chair is here as well, Sue Rich. And it's a very exciting opportunity. We also reviewed the draft plan for 2026. The 4 pointers right now are the Dark Sky International UNSP certificate, community outreach opportunities, the green team, and the parks visits. And that's something that people may not realize, is that each month they keep track of which commissioners go to which parks, and they give feedback, and they also talk with people. So they're like the ambassadors to the park year round. Not like they are. We also, knowing that the retreat was supposed to happen last week, I had some questions that I was going to relay, so I'll hold off those until we get together. We got a monthly update on Five Oaks. They're seeing spikes in November and December, especially when school breaks were in session, and an increase in daily use since the new year. But hopefully that will stay strong. For Turkey Trot this year, there were 2,075 runners, and the donation made to the Harvey Kornblum Food Pantry was 31,500. And then the other exciting thing is basketball is in season. So if you go to Five Oaks, you got to park on the lower lot. So don't wear shorts in this cold weather. The increase in basketball this year is up by 52%. We have 868 children or students in the recreational league, which is pretty amazing. And then I also was going to plug the February 7th craft vendor fair, which our city manager did earlier. And it's great because the people are coming, the vendors are coming from throughout St. Louis. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And I did not have anything to present at this time. So we're going to go on to number 8, hearing from citizens. Are there anyone or any citizens in the audience that would like to speak? If you would come up, state your name and address.
It's not on.
Sue Rich, 8927 Hilltop Manor Drive. As Maxine already outed me, I'm the chair of the Park Commission. I just wanted to take a moment and say that the commission was very excited and unanimously recommend that we get into an agreement reciprocally with Creve Coeur, and that it's a win-win for both cities. And we look forward to starting it and then increasing it over time. So thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to go on to item number 19, Bill 3056. Can we have the title read, please?
Bill 3056, an ordinance authorizing a special permit use to 9321 Olive LLC to permit Mercy Healthcare Organization to operate a centralized ambulatory pharmacy on the property grounds addressed as 9321 Olive Boulevard, zoned LID Light Industrial District. First reading and public hearing.
Let's see, open to the public hearing here. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. My name is Carlos Trejo. I'm the Director of Planning and Community Development for the City of Olivet. And tonight I am here to talk about Bill 3056, which is a ordinance that would authorize the issuance of a special permit for Mercy, the healthcare organization, to operate a centralized ambulatory pharmacy at the property address is 9321 Olive Boulevard. And there. I'm going to go over the locations and specifics and then talk about the special permit process and why it's before the council tonight. The next slide will give you an overview of where the building is. It's at the north west corner of Dillman Industrial and Olive Boulevard. It's got that little red dot on there. It's a 8.4 acre site, and it's got a one of our largest buildings, almost 100, over 105,000 square feet. Used to belong to U.S. Bank, prior to that Mark Twain Bank, and then I heard he even went back to Carter Carburetor when they manufactured here. At its peak, it had over 350 employees that were part of a U.S. Bank call center. They ran a lot of their mortgage operations in that facility. And then they slowly vacated the site after, post-COVID over time. So it was a pretty significant loss. It was one of our top 5 employers in our community. And again, it's one of the largest building facilities that we have in there, especially in our industrial park. We received a petition to convert the building and retrofit the building for a centralized ambulatory pharmacy to be operated by Mercy. In the LID district, which is the underlying zoning, it would be considered like under medical offices and clinics and would require a special permit, meaning that it has to be reviewed by the commission. Commission approves the site plan and forwards a recommendation to the council. And then the council authorizes it through the adoption of an ordinance. And why do we do that? In the next slide, we'll kind of go over that process. The special permit's somewhat unique. It's generally a use that's called out within the underlying zoning district, but that type of use usually has some special characteristics that require, an additional level of review and some scrutiny. And therefore, the commission does primarily the code review, the design review on behalf of the council, but then forwards a recommendation to the council being the use. Because sometimes those uses can or require some modifications in order to make them compatible with the surroundings in there. So it's a basis to determine suitability. It's not permitted unless the commission and the council authorize it. And then the city also does have the authority to deny or even evoke a special permit if it starts to fall incompatible with its surroundings or no longer complies with the initial authority. When we review a special permit, the council is supposed to look at the potential impact of the use, the underlying zoning, and what the intent of that zoning is, how it furthers the goals of our comprehensive plan. Is the site suitable for this type of use? What is the impact to the surrounding areas? The city also reserves the right to require some additional things for its compliance and to make it more palatable to its surroundings, whether it's buffering, architecture, open space, and other kind of limitations, like limitations on hours of operation and things of that nature that you can impose to make sure that it's consistent with the area. And of course, we use the 2024 comprehensive plan as a guiding document in this review. This kind of checks off on a lot of those boxes in there, and then we look at what is the purpose of intent of the light industrial district. You have those in your reports in there. The next slide kind of goes into the specifics of the special permit. It requires site plan review, which is conducted through the commission. It's got to be listed as a use in the underlying zoning district. It furthers the comprehensive plan. I'll continue to stress that. It's suitable to the environment and surroundings. It's complementary to its neighbors. It mitigates spillover effects and allows the city to require additional things like buffering, aesthetic enhancements, open space, limitations and ensures that there's an adequacy of public services. And that's always a hard balance in there. But we had discussions on this use being in the medical side. The next slide will kind of give you an overview of where the location is. This is looking at the corner of Dealman Industrial and Olive. I'm looking northwest. It's a pretty sizable building. It has some pretty significant trees along along Olive. It's a one-story building, all masonry. And there, at this point, it was pretty much vacated by U.S. Bank. I think the picture's about a year or two old. The city is working on doing some roadway improvements here on this lane, that southbound lane that goes on towards Olive. We're working with the petitioners, and part of the conditions are for them to facilitate in the process of re-engineering and closing that apron, moving it further back towards the second pole light up there, so there's a little bit more queuing space. They've been working cooperatively with Mr. McGregor in there. And again, this is an improvement that emphasizes the strength and taking advantage of federal funds. I think a majority of this is being funded federally and through in there, and then with this opportunity to move that drive apron, we kind of enhance the entranceway there into the industrial park and make it meet some of the goals and standards, both of the current comprehensive plan and the previous one. The next slide will give you the specifics on overall. There is not going to be any building addition or any additional levels that are added. They're retrofitting the existing building shell. They will do some aesthetic enhancements along the Olive Boulevard side and bring those to the commission. They will do improvements along Olive Boulevard to further our streetscape standards, expanding the sidewalk and those things. Again, they're working cooperatively with Public Works with relocating the apron on Dealman Industrial. They also will work with us to put together a legal agreement that if the adjacent neighbor to the west, which is the Taco Bell facility, ever redevelops, we'll kind of combine those two sites and then kind of align it directly with Llewellyn, which is part of the Olive Boulevard conceptual master plan. They'll add some additional landscaping to the back of the building, and they'll also ensure that all exterior lighting is consistent with our current standards under Chapter 428. So it's all downlighted. We control the ballast and things of that nature, so they're not high or angled upward in there. In addition to that, they work cooperatively. We've met with the police department and the fire department to talk about services and what type of activities that they do in there to make sure that it's not it doesn't cause any extensive use of whether it's the ambulance or security. So they've been pretty cooperative in working with us on those. The next slide is just kind of an overview. You had this in your report of what is a ambulatory pharmacy service, and essentially it is a pharmacy, so you're not staying overnight like in a hospital type of pharmacy. They provide those four highlighted points of care: ambulatory pharmacy, which is somewhat of the retail component, specialty pharmacy, home infusion pharmacy, and centralized pharmacy support functions. We have representatives from Mercy if you want to get any additional of the specifics. They'll have probably over 125 employees, hopefully up to 150 when they get started. They'll be looking hopefully in 2027 to be looking towards occupancy if authorized and approved by the council in there. And I think in the next slide, again, in this commission review, it was introduced in November. They continued discussions in December. They wanted to ensure, of course, to look at how we could utilize the improvements here to further our goals and standards, both in our zoning code, especially like Chapter 428, and our comprehensive plan. We had the safety meeting reviews. We had the discussions about realignment of that southern access point, coordinated access on the west side by Taco Bell, bringing the lighting into compliance, the streetscape into compliance, enhancing the exterior of the building along Olive, and then to make sure that we have a complete type of signage plan. It's a pretty large site, so they'll have directional signage throughout the site as they have both employees in there, and then it is open to to the public or specific public that comes in there. Here you have on the right, the hierarchy and the framework of the special permit process, but also our community goals from the 2024 comprehensive plan update. And does further a lot of those goals that are within that. And finally, Mayor, if there are some items I can introduce to bring them into the record, then be glad to answer any specific questions. That is our 2024 comprehensive plan update, including the 5-year economic development plan and the Olive Boulevard conceptual master plan. All three of these documents were used through the review process and enhanced, and you can see them in the commission reports in terms of furthering our goals and objectives, especially the conceptual master plan and the 5-year economic development plan. The Olivet Municipal Code and zoning map, including section 400-840, which is special permits authorizing medical offices and clinics. That's paragraph number 14. The presentation to the Planning and Community Design Commission on December 14th and the supporting reports, including the petition, the plans and documents that were also part of your packets tonight. The public hearing notice and affidavit of publication. This was published in the St. Louis County on January 12th, 2026, and you have a list of addresses that were notified within 300 feet of the subject property. And then this presentation before the council tonight. Be glad to answer any specific questions. We have representatives, both the petitioner from George Stock and Associates, and then representatives from Mercy, and then representatives from the property owner, 9321 LLC, which is part of the Bamboo Equity and Artori Group, are here and online. I see in there.
Well, if they have anything they'd like to say, I'm happy
I'd
to.
like to introduce it. Just depends if there's
Yes.
any
If they want
inquiries regarding the pharmacy services or the site itself, or just to look at to say hello.
Yeah, I do have a question or a few questions. So one, sounds like people may be going to this site to pick up medications, right? If we go back to the site plan, where will they park their cars? How do
Okay.
they get to the building from Olive?
I'll let them kind of talk about the orientation. I kind of know, but I think.
Okay,
and then
sure.
Mr. Stock.
Yeah.
And this is George Stock with Stock and Associates.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Carlos. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the council. For the record, my name's George Stock, and I'm with Stock and Associates Consulting Engineers. It's my pleasure to be here this evening on behalf of Mercy. Joining me this evening from Mercy are Mr. Kevin Holleran, Ryan Gilb, and Doug Malcolm. So they're available to answer any questions as well. It's certainly a pleasure to be here. We want to thank you. We want to thank Carlos, thank Jennifer. We contacted them, reached out a few months ago with an interest in this property, and they've helped guide us through this process for the special permit. So Mercy's happy to become, a corporate citizen within the city of Olivet. With regards to the site plan, the northern portion of the building or parking lot, that would be for the employees. The employees would access the northern doors on the building. There's plenty of parking. Carlos mentioned anywhere from 125 to 150, probably closer to 160 employees. So there's more than enough parking. Visitors would come in the front lot, the south lot. They have the ability to access off Dealman Industrial or the access driveway to the west and park across the front of the building. As Carlos had indicated, there is some modifications being made to that access drive on Dealman Industrial. We work closely with the city and being able to facilitate that and come up with a plan to move those parking spaces. So that door on the south side would be for visitors, patients.
Got it. Thanks.
I don't know if you've answered the question already or not. Will people be able to do like a drive-through to get
No
there?
drive-through,
No drive-through.
no drive-through.
Okay.
Just to note, Councilman, Mayor, if I can, and that is a similar format to how the U.S. Bank had their setup. Employee
Before.
parking would be in the rear, and any public that was entering the building for whatever reason would come in from that front portion. Now, that side was mostly empty, given the services that were provided there. But back in 2013, there was, like, for signing the mortgage papers and things of that nature, you would come in through that south entrance.
Okay. And the second question, more of a sidewalk related, but right now the sidewalk along this building is butts up right against Olive, which is very unsafe. And I know we've talked as a council many times about moving sidewalks away from the street, if at all possible. The way the site is laid out, there are 2 rows of trees, and right in between them, and then just a question, but right in between them, there is some space. Seems like we may be able to move that sidewalk away from the roads to increase the safety for pedestrians.
That'd be two things. One is the sidewalk that's designed here, similar to what we have in front of the mobile station. I'll give that example, is per code in there. If we want to look at other alternative means, we'll have to kind of amend the code. We can work with them through the process. And there, my concern would be, and it's a tough area in there because while I couldn't tell you specifically the type of trees that are along there, but they're pretty mature and they are provide a nice canopy. Moving any further northward is going to start, they're somewhat already underneath the canopy. Not by much, but by so. The goal would be to widen that sidewalk to about 13 feet. And that's what we have in front of mobile. Provide, some ornamental trees along the street side to provide that buffer, and then those type of lights in the streetscape in there.
Okay.
And we can do that on the north side because there's not as much utilities that run underneath. If we are to look at another design option, and we've done that for the south side of Olive because of the utility poles and the fiber optics, it's something I'm sure we can talk with them, but it will require us to do some modifications to the code.
Yeah, I think if there's some type of buffer or barrier between the
Understand.
sidewalk and the street, I think that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, it's a-
Moving it over might be a little extreme, but yeah, if we can widen it, put a buffer between the sidewalk and the street, I think we would be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, understand. Appreciate it.
Yeah, the sidewalk is a concern of mine as well. And if I'm remembering correctly, I think that first row of trees might be dead. And just having driven by this building, obviously it's hard to tell right now. But even on one of the original pictures that was showing, you could see like a big gash on the side of one of the trees. I think a lot of those first trees are in pretty bad shape anyway. But something, having that sidewalk widened with, if trees like this image is showing, if trees are planted along there that can serve as both a visual and a physical barrier and protection for pedestrians walking along the sidewalk.
This is representative of what we intend to do across the site. This is part of enhancement in accordance with the city's guidelines.
So, Mr. Trejo, when you were speaking earlier, you said 13 feet and our sidewalks are usually 5 feet. So that includes like this other little buffer with the light posts and the trees?
Back in 2008, we amended our code to create what was going to be our common streetscape along the Olive Boulevard
Okay.
corridor, consistent with the 2006 comprehensive or strategic plan. The process was following a lot of APA standards regarding streetscapes designs along thoroughfares or state highways similar to Olive Boulevard. And you provide a transition area, and that is that pink colored component. And then in that pink color component, you try to put, the spacing of the trees, street lamps and all that. And then you have a 5 to 8 foot wide sidewalk unobstructed as a pathway, not a 5 foot one you'd see in the residential or on Old Bonham. This is our commercial thoroughfare or our main
This
street.
makes me much more comfortable with what I could read from the drawings
Mhm.
because it looks.
Yeah,
like-
it's really small given the size of the site. I
Right, but
understand.
this is, gives me, Councilmember Sean Hellman said, this allows us more of a barrier, whether it's the street lamps.
There is
or the tree.
a pretty there is a detail within our code of what that expectation is of a cross section that's pretty specific and outlines exactly how they have to get that done and what are those widths. And that's the standard we've been following with the Oliver, and we did, of course, the mobile station, the CVS in there. And we got that in conjunction working with the Great Rivers Greenway when they were doing the extension in front of Chevy's and all that. So
Okay, great, thank you.
yes.
Yeah, this is very exciting. We get an opportunity to improve the sidewalks, and we appreciate you guys coming into the city. Yeah.
I have a question not related to sidewalks, but related to just security, with the awareness that as a pharmaceutical entity, there are high value items that might be attractive for individuals who might be interested in criminal activity. And I'm curious if there are additional safety or security measures that take place in a pharmacy such as this, to
Everyone has their
just help with
specialty.
those potential issues.
Good to meet you. Doug Malcolm. I'm the Vice President of Ambulatory Specialty Pharmacy Services with Mercy. To answer your question, yes. And the Board of Pharmacy has some um, very strict expectations that proper security is going to be provided. And so with the size of this facility, we are going to have multiple layers of security within the building to ensure that we are safeguarding the pharmaceuticals that are kept on the premises. So could involve, layers on protective films that, essentially harden glass. We would certainly look at security systems, alarm systems, badge access. So a lot of different layers to get to, as you mentioned, the medications that would be more in demand.
And I know that I saw in the report that there was a meeting that wasn't clear if it had already taken place with police and fire in terms of safety
Correct.
issues.
Correct. Doug and his team, along with George and his team, have already met with both the fire marshal and fire chief on discussions. And then we have one set for with the police department regarding security, but that's going to be once more the interior work is laid out
Okay.
and set. So that they're looking forward to that. So
Okay. And then a separate question, unless, did you have more on that subject?
No.
No, okay.
Is it for Carl? Okay.
I was having a little bit of a hard time deciphering between the different layout drawings. For the Dealman Industrial Drive, is the access driveway being moved further north?
that is
Away
correct.
from Olive?
Correct.
Okay.
And
And-
it will kind of align a little bit past or behind the building, the front of the building. So
Okay.
it'll be a little bit above that area.
And the entrance that's on the west side at this point is slated to stay?
The entrance on, yes, correct.
Like the west and the east
Correct.
side?
There are some grading issues, it would require, to try to coordinate that would require redevelopment of the Taco Bell site. In there's utility poles, some grading issues, there's a hydrant, and I forgot, there was a couple of other things. And then kind of Llewellyn is somewhat centered in that island to the south. In there, we just want to make sure as part of the concept or Olive Boulevard concept master plan is that we obtain the necessary agreements that when these opportunities occur, that will be set and not have to purchase property or push for those. Right now, those two aprons are pretty close, but Taco Bell is not doing anything to try to push this or give us an access to try to require it at this point. We have it in plan. But the next time around, we'll have one property already secured with an agreement that it'll be easier to get the other property
Okay.
to get into that place.
So the future goal would be that instead of having the Mercy entrance and the Taco Bell entrance with, a 10-foot barrier between, or not barrier, but distance
Understand.
between them, that those
Kinda
would be
Coordinate and combine
combined and we
those.
would have one cut out onto Olive. Okay, that's good.
I had a question about the traffic flow there as well. When people leave the premise, would they be able to make a left turn onto Olive? Because that's where a lot of the traffic jams occur, because they come out of Taco Bell, they come out of Mobile on the Run, and those left turns are what really jam up the traffic, or will this be a no left turn?
It'll, it will be a full access apron. They do have two opportunities to exit onto Dealman Industrial. And then there's not an apron on the north side, then use Dealman Industrial either to get to Olive, get to Price, or get to Dealman Road itself. In there, a lot of the exiting is probably going to go from that north end in there, and you can't drive on the left side of the building. That's not, I don't believe that's interconnected anymore, or
So
won't be.
the people that work there are going to go out into the industrial court, but what about the clientele, the patients that come?
Either on Dealman or through the Olive entrance.
Okay, so, but they'd have to go through the industrial court to get to Dealman.
If they want to get to Dillman Road, yes.
They can exit onto Dealman Industrial, I think is what
Yes.
Mr. Trejo is saying. They would
Okay.
have the opportunity to come out this entrance onto Olive, or they could come out onto Dealman Industrial.
Okay, so as far as the traffic flow, there wasn't great concern there?
No, not given the number of how many people would be parking in the front as compared to the back. If it was reversed, it would be a concern.
Mhm.
And this is, we're improving it from where it was with US Bank because we're moving the apron back. So less chance of a traffic jam if people do back up and turning left, because that was one of the reasons. Is if one person turning left and there's a wait, nobody could get out. So
Okay.
that's gonna help moving it back a little bit.
It's a good point, and that it's a difficulty of working with Olive Boulevard
Right,
and trying
right.
to get all these aprons combined. But that's the goal of that concept master plan, is we're slowly working our way to get those addressed.
And I have another question just about the pharmacy itself. So do you send, does a lot of it just come, do a lot of the prescriptions come in and you send them out, or or is this where a lot of the patients actually show up and pick them up, like on their way home from the hospital or something?
Yeah, the majority of prescriptions from this pharmacy would be sent out. So home delivery type services. We would have an option for patients to pick up, but we don't expect it to be utilized much at all.
Okay. So that cuts down on that traffic as well.
Correct.
Great, thank you.
I'll also call out, like during PCDC conversations, there was concern or questions raised about the volume of the parking lot in the back.
Mhm.
And so based off, it's ample and, probably more than is needed, but the challenge is, some people asked, could we shorten it? Could we put some more vegetation and things like that? But considering it's a lease and you never know what the next use is going to be and things like that, and you wanted to leave it because it might be needed. So that was kind of called out, but there is going to be some, I believe, some landscaping just to make sure it's kept as well. So.
Great. Exciting.
Anything else?
Thank you.
A couple of things I'll note
Please.
also. Mercy is leasing the building, as was indicated by
No.
Councilperson Lewis. The owner is 9321 LLC, who's the lead person is Don Dokovic, who is here in there. Don's worked with Dan, yes, has worked with Bamboo Equity, Intellica, and their Tory Group, which is the kind of like the umbrella organization. And there are several representatives, Ms. Benner, Mr. Curry, there. They've been, as you go back to this 5-year economic development plan and our 2006 comprehensive plan, it's about building these business relationships and all that. And Intellica has been pretty instrumental in investing in all of that. They helped us get Emerson. Was one of their sites. They helped us get Door.com, Paddle and Pickle, and allowed an opportunity for auto beauty specialists to relocate their storage facilities so they could expand their business on their site. They also have property that they've invested up in Dealman Rock Island Industrial. There's some three properties in there. So it's always exciting when we work with Bamboo and Intellica, because we know we'll get things right, and we know that they'll make an investment in our community. So you want to note that and recognize it.
Okay.
And I do appreciate the number of people that you brought with you to this meeting and online. I think it's a good show of your interest and commitment, and appreciate that.
Yeah. At this time, is there anyone in the audience, online, or anywhere that has any questions about this project? Okay. Well, Mr. Trejos, I'd like to thank you and all of your guests for coming about to discuss this. We're going to close the public hearing at this point. And the second reading of this bill will be conducted on February 10th.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen. So we're going to move on to item number 10, the Glen Mary Road Curb Construction Project. Can we please have a presentation?
Good evening, Bruce McGregor, Public Works. It's getting close to construction season, and I am excited to put the plows away and get back to road improvement projects. Glen Mary Road is a unique right-of-way that we acquired in the 1999 to 2001 NID process. It is what I believe originally an access road used by the City of St. Louis Water Division. to perform the construction of the conduits that go across from Stacy Park through Olivet into University City and down into the city of St. Louis. That's the only reason I can explain why there's this 20-foot right-of-way, a very, very narrow roadway, and a relatively small cul-de-sac. But that's what we have. Over the years, I think the street just sort of morphed maybe as they got more use, and the cul-de-sac sort of got a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger and never was really designed or defined as the radius that it is laid out. The second page sort of shows an aerial view of the, not really a teardrop shape, but more like a golf club driver, maybe, of a shape. So I've been working with the residents there to put together a plan to formalize that radius, install curb and gutters, and correct some of the vintageness of the roadway, we'll say. Once the curbs are completed, we'll work with our on-call paving contractor to redo the asphalt, at least down to where the MSD project is about half the roadway. So that'll take care of all the different utility cuts and pavement failures in the actual roadway surface. But of course, we want to wait till the curbs are installed first. There any questions?
Any questions from the council?
I'm just curious, I feel like anytime we do something to a road in a neighborhood, people have feelings. I was curious just what your conversations with neighbors.
This was
have
at the
been.
neighbor's request.
Oh, good.
And I certainly appreciate the difficulty and here's the thing, we have a relatively low hurdle to overcome as a successful project. MSD was just there doing a major sewer project and it didn't go so smoothly. So I think they'll be very pleased with us working there. I think we're a little more conscientious, a little more dedicated to detail. But yes, it's a narrow street to work on. It will be inconvenient for 6 to 8 weeks while we do all the construction. But it is at their request.
But the street itself is not actually being widened.
We-
It's just the lower part of the cul-de-sac that is.
Yeah, we're taking it. So if you look there, you can see the right-of-way limit is the yellow line. And this is from the GIS map, but it's fairly representative. So we are going to be making it more of a radius. So it'll go a little bit further north, which is into that driveway area, and a little bit further to the west, into that yard area. That's where the taller curb's going to go because that house sits higher than the street. So we need to be able to hold back the slope a little bit in that area. And then we need to make sure that the water of the cul-de-sac flows in two directions. Some of it goes north, some of it goes south.
This is currently this is a public street.
It
right?
is.
Okay.
It's a city street. It was acquired through the 99. I don't know exactly what year,
okay.
but it was in those early 2000 NID process.
Okay, so the entire, I guess, cul-de-sac is on board,
Yes,
issues.
yes. I've been primarily dealing with the two property owners at the end.
Okay.
So it's only two.
Yeah, there's two houses at the end that are, immediately adjacent to the cul-de-sac. The one house in the lower left of the photo, I think is the only original house to the subdivision. There's 12 on the street, and I think all the other ones have been torn down and rebuilt.
Okay.
Maybe there's one more closer to Old Bonham to think in my head there.
All right.
And in the work with MSD, knowing that this whole road slopes downhill,
Mhm.
right? Is there?
They already reconstructed and
Drains, are
put
they-
in new sewers. It was a relief project.
Okay.
Went all the way over to the channel that goes by the substation, which is north of this area, and then continued. It was about the middle of Glen Mary, and then continued towards Dealman.
Okay. All right, well, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'd be happy to make a motion to authorize the city manager to execute a contract not to exceed 43,972.50 with Spencer Contracting to construct concrete curb and gutters at the north end of Glen Mary Road.
Second,
All right, can we please poll the council?
Councilmember Lewis,
yes.
Councilmember Pashon Hellman,
Yes.
Councilmember Solomonov,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Weil,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes.
Motion is passed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So now we're going on to item number 11. CPR first aid training fees.
I thought Bruce would have left it on. Good evening, council members, mayor,
Good
Mr.
evening.
Man, or Mr. Mann, Ms. Yackley. My name's Tim Pham, the Assistant Fire Chief of your fire department. I am here tonight to request authorization to establish a fee schedule for CPR and first aid training. These classes right now that we are presently doing are provided free of charge. The city employees do that for the residents. The fire department incurs expenses related to personnel, training materials, and certification fees. A fee schedule will help cover these costs, allowing the first fire department to maintain high-quality standards of instruction and effectively oversee the funds that were provided for you guys for our budget. Very short presentation, just asking for, permission to be able to being able to charge for fees.
Do we happen to know how much we're charged?
Oh, it's right below.
Ah, there it is. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's.
Okay.
So the fee schedule that is up there is at non-resident fees, and this was in conjunction with the Parks Department, Five Oaks, when they were advertising. We didn't change that. We set it as the same fee as non-residents, is $69 resident, or Five Oaks members, $59, and as a hybrid or an online course where they take the class online and come and do the practical at the firehouse would be a $30 fee.
If you were to go out and about into the community, because I know that Captain Reserwitz has done that for me where I work, would these be the same fee still? That'd be the non-resident fee?
Actually, it'd be less. St. Louis CPR right now, I believe, is charging $85 with a discount down to $79.
Mhm.
That's just
No,
going online.
she's
and looking.
asking if she were to request that Captain Rujewitz come to her business and teach a CPR class, are these the fees that would be assessed for her?
That's a good question as well. Jim would be, answer, I guess, off duty.
Because I know that he's done that in the past for organizations.
Right. And in the past, that's how we did it, was we used the same fee schedule from the community center to extend to others for
Great.
as a non-resident.
Great, thank you.
Have we considered maybe offering a more discounted or potentially free classes, just so we have more people in our community being CPR certified to try to encourage more?
They're doing that
Yep.
now.
They've been.
Oh, that's what you're.
Yeah, we're
oh,
doing it
now.
I missed
Yeah,
that
that's
part.
what I'm saying.
A lot of money.
Roughly per year, on the average, we've been doing 200 certifications a year.
Okay, so this is a change introducing.
Yeah,
the
yes.
fees.
It needs some more
Okay.
money. I get it. Any other questions from the council? Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve, please.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the fire department to implement a fee-based structure for CPR and first aid classes.
I'll second.
Okay, can we please poll the council?
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Pashon Hellman,
Yes.
Councilmember Solomonov,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Weil,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes,
The motion is passed.
Thank you, guys.
you're welcome.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Now we're going on to item number 12, authorization of reciprocal facility agreement with the city of Creve Coeur. Could we please have a presentation?
Are you freezing? Oh.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Beverly Tucker Knight, Parks and Recreation Director. And I have with me Assistant Parks and Recreation Director, Patrick McGee. And Patrick has been instrumental in developing this reciprocal agreement. So we're here with this evening to talk to you about it. So I'm going to turn it over to Patrick.
Thank you, Beverly. Yeah, we were excited to work with Creve Coeur and bring something to our residents that we didn't currently have, which is the ability to use an ice rink at a cheaper cost at the resident rate for the Creve Coeur residents. And we're excited to offer that, as well as the golf course as well. As far as, did we have a slideshow too?
We do not.
We do not. Okay. I just didn't know if you had, I know we had talked about some things, but basically with this was born out of working with Creve Coeur to basically establish a reciprocal usage and to also kind of bring people into Five Oaks as well. So that's kind of the two-prong attack that we were going after. We're excited to work with them and have that reciprocal usage put in place and to start at this place and also have the ability to grow into possibly programs and other event to kind of grow those as well.
And is this the first time the city has partnered with Creve Coeur?
It's not. Prior to COVID, we did partner with Creve Coeur. We would offer reciprocal classes for programs that they didn't offer. So Creve Coeur does not have a community center. And we used to have an older facility, but we had programming. We had summer camps and we had athletics. And Creve Coeur residents would use our programs at the resident rate, and our residents would in turn have a selection of classes they could use in Creve Coeur, things we didn't offer, such as tennis lessons, golf lessons, programs at their historic home, their tea program for children and things like that. And that was popular. And then it died during COVID when we all shut down. And then when everything reopened after COVID, we were constructing the new center. So it just kind of went by the wayside. But this is a new agreement. This one actually requires approval of the council because this is a facility reciprocal agreement. It's very similar to the agreement that Creve Coeur has with Maryland Heights for access to the aquaport, because Creve Coeur does not have a swimming pool, but they do have the golf course and the ice rink. So they're able to do that with Maryland Heights. It's worked very well. We are also very interested in finding a reciprocal agreement for a swimming pool for Olivet residents. We have not been successful with that yet, but we are still working on that. So hopefully we will have something like that in the future. And this is an agreement for 1 year. We will assess it, see how it goes, and then if it is successful and we want to continue, this agreement allows us to automatically roll it over. But we also have the ability to make adjustments or fine tune it if there's things we want to adjust as both Creve Coeur staff and our staff, track it throughout the year.
Would this apply to people working in Creve Coeur too and looking to use a facility?
At this time, I don't know for sure. We have to follow the Creve Coeur agreements. We have a meeting with their Parks and Rec director. It got delayed because his child was sick and then with the storm. So we haven't, the devil's in the details. We will be hammering that out. But we do hope that it will. Our initial promotions that we're doing as far as mailings go, we would mail just to Creve Coeur residents, not the businesses, but then advertise through the Chamber of Commerce. We pay a tiered system with our mailings. And so it's much cheaper to mail to the households than to do all the households and the businesses. But then we can utilize our membership with the Chamber of Commerce to get the information out to the businesses. The other thing is, as we do our targeted mailing, we'll be focusing on neighborhoods on the east side of 270. We currently have some Creve Coeur members. We kind of looked at where those addresses are. It makes more sense that people that are closer geographically to us. So again, that's a cost savings for our mailing because mailing is very expensive. But Creve Coeur will also be pushing it out to their residents so we can piggyback on how they are pushing out the information as well. So I guess I just answered the question. We are sending it to businesses, yes. So as you all know, in Olivet, if you work for a business in Olivet, you qualify for the resident rate with our programs, and that's a program we've had for a long time.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to confirm that in what we read tonight in the presentation at the Parks meeting, this is only for membership and day passes, correct?
It is, but if you purchase a membership with Five Oaks, you then get all the privileges of that membership. So you would receive the member rates for the programs, the classes, and the rentals, because that is our current policy.
Excellent, thank you.
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm just curious, projections, did you have an estimate and kind of how much volume you think this might increase or what it might change? I'm sure you did.
Hoping we'll see a 15% increase, but
In membership, I mean, it's a guesstimate,
it
of course.
is
so.
absolutely, it's a guess. We
And-
just don't know.
And we talked about how we're gonna promote to Creve Coeur residents promotion within Olivet? Is it going to be, obviously, the newsletter, I imagine?
Yes, it'll be in the newsletter. We have a full page ad in our activity guide that's in production right now. That goes to every household. And then we'll, of course, do a lot of social media, direct mail through Constant Contact. Our Constant Contact direct mails seem to get a really excellent response rate. We have a very high open rate. So we have about a 36% open rate, which is phenomenal with Constant Contact. We still get people that ask to get, after every mailing, ask to be removed, but that's very low. So we're fortunate that people like our emails.
I'm sorry, it's my last question. You threw me for a loop. Do you expect Creve Coeur to send out mailings to the Olivet residents, inviting them to participate in the golf course and the ice rink?
We would anticipate they would, but we don't know. Again, that's a question that we have for Jason. Depends on what he has budgeted. We did have money in this year's budget to do some targeted mailings into Creve Coeur. When we mail out our activity guide, we mail to all the households in Olivet, but we also go over our borders. We go a little bit into Ladue, Creve Coeur, and the unincorporated areas. Some of that is because of how the postal routes go in order to saturate Olivet, but also we target where we know a lot of our clients are coming. And then we also, with our athletic programs, we follow the Ladue School District. So we want to make sure that all the kids in the schools know about it as well. We don't want anyone to feel like they can't be in our athletic programs.
Great, thank you.
I just had a detailed question on the draft agreement that were presented that says the golf course access would be from May 15th through September 15th. Is that just because that's the only when the golf course is open, or are those dates restricted for a different reason?
Yeah, those dates are typically just restricted due to winter and cold weather. They do shut down for, green renovations, bunker renovations, things like that throughout the year. And when they do that, it is only a 9-hole course, not a full 18-hole course. So shutting down a hole obviously affects quite a bit more than it would on an 18-hole course.
Yeah. I'm thrilled with this. I really appreciate you guys doing the work to look into this and develop this partnership. I think it's great for Olivet, great for Creve Coeur, and hopefully will really be a good boost for Five Oaks memberships.
We hope so too.
Absolutely. I'll entertain a motion to approve this.
Make a motion. Motion to authorize reciprocal agreement with the city of Creve Coeur for the use of Five Oaks on Warson and the Creve Coeur ice rink and golf course.
Second?
Can we please poll the council?
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Pashon Hellman,
Yes.
Councilmember Solomonov,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Weil,
Absolutely.
Mayor Clark.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you very much.
Good job.
All right, so we're going to go to hearing from citizens part 2. If there are any citizens in here who would like to speak, please raise your hand. Seeing none, we'll move forward. Right now, we're going to have the review and acceptance of minutes. Are there any corrections to the minutes that anyone saw? Well, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as read.
I'll make a motion to approve council minutes from January 13th, 2026.
Second.
Can we please poll the council?
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Pashon Hellman,
Yes.
Councilmember Solomonov,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Weil,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes.
Motion is passed.
All right, so we go to item 15, our city attorney's report.
No report this evening.
Okay,
Okay,
so
we
now,
can Circle back to Jennifer.
The dates for
The
the
dates for
retreat.
the retreat.
yes, so let's go ahead and circle back so we can select that date.
Right, so in consultation with Beth Quindry, who is the facilitator, we looked at these 3 dates. We didn't go much further into March. So if we can't get something for these 3 days, I can circle back with her and go further into March. But the 3 dates are February 28th, Saturday, February 28th, Saturday, March 7th, and Sunday, March 8th. And so it would be about, like a half day, about 5-ish hours, morning or afternoon. So I open the floor for the council to discuss.
Is this something we discuss now or we do it later?
No, I think you should do it now.
Okay, in my opinion, I would go with March 8th because I have so much activities to do on Saturdays. So Sunday works best for me.
March 8th is fine with me. The only thing I'll ask is, depending on our agenda, do we need more? I'd rather make sure we're getting it done in one day versus having to, stretch it out. So if there's a need to start earlier, I'm open to that. But,
Second that.
I'd rather start but I don't know if that's possible for people based off services or chair, or other things. So
I can tell you, Beth and I had designed your retreat, and it was absolutely possible to get the things you all want to do done in one day. So,
one day being like 5 hours, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I throw something out that would be unique, and I don't know if it would be offensive, so I apologize up front. But is there, I know that not everybody works on Mondays and Fridays, that some people work. Is there a chance of doing something on a Monday or Friday in an afternoon and using, I would rather use PTO for that because I'm not available on the 7th or the 8th. I'm already committed out both days. And I know that throws a wrench into the fire, whatever the expression is.
Puts a turd in a punch bowl.
Thank you.
I can't do it. I'll
You
tell
can't do
that.
it, okay.
I have work.
Okay.
I've got too much to do on these days. I don't get PTO.
Sydney, if we were to do March 7th in the morning, would that help? Versus the afternoon?
I think she said she can't do either.
Oh, yeah, you said, yeah,
I am-
either way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you do the 28th?
Half in the afternoon only, unfortunately.
I can do the afternoon of the 28th.
Yeah, the afternoon of the 28th works for me as well.
It's hard.
if you're willing to extend further into March, I can certainly have a conversation with Beth.
Let's look further into March.
Okay, so I'm willing to do that, to look further into March, because it sounds like these 3 dates just aren't gonna work, and that's totally
Mm.
fine.
And that's fine. The only challenge, we're running into spring break as well. And I know times
Yeah.
I'll be out, but
Yeah.
you know.
So we'll see if we can work around spring break.
Do you know if February 21st was a possibility?
If it's not a possibility, yeah, we didn't want to give you dates that we knew either she or I really can't be there. So
Okay.
we'll look a little further into March and really try and find something in March, because I know it's very important for the council that your goals be reflective in the budget. And so we're wanting to try and get this done in March. But I appreciate you all looking at your calendars.
All right, so we're going to kick this down the road a little bit, see what we can find out further into March. Do we all agree? So do you have anything that you'd like to add?
No, I was just saying, use your mic.
At this point, I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, so be it.